Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have some pretty big news going on over here. In case you guys missed it, we have a lot of stuff to go talk about today. There's a bunch of brand new games with trailers. I'm going to be showcasing a bunch of them throughout this video. So I just want to have some nice little background things to go look at throughout this one. I got you guys. We have some big controversy when it comes to PlayStation with the Game of the Year awards and people's kind of opinions on the Game of the Year itself. Would love to hear your thoughts and comments and all that throughout this video. I'm definitely been going through all the comments itself today, and we just have a lot of kind of things to go yap about, talk about. So hopefully you guys are going to sit back, relax, and enjoy all throughout today. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on for the PS5 Pro giveaway going on over here. Subscribe here, our second account, and all the Twitters and Twitches down below for the bonus giveaway entries, and of course all the affiliate links down below for consoles, buying stuff, whatever it might be. And I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Let's go and dive on into the video itself. So I'm going to be throwing up some kind of cool gameplay over here in the background for all of you guys out here, kind of maybe just kind of bouncing back and forth depending on, well, when and where and how and all this stuff's going to happen. So first and foremost, we're going to be showcasing up in the background some of the brand new popular games coming out. First and foremost, there was some crazy big announcements of the Game of the Year awards as of last night. The one I'm going to be showcasing up right in the background over here is Naughty Dog's newest brand new game. This is called The Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet, and overall this is just more of a casual trailer itself in the game. We're going to maybe go and kind of bounce up and down a little bit throughout this too as well. I'm just going to show you guys what they're kind of showcasing, all that. Like I said, we're going to maybe bounce around a little bit quick throughout some of these. Some other big things such as the brand new Elden Ring game. You heard me correctly in case you guys missed it. Elden Ring has its own next spin-off type style game, which we actually may go and cover on the channel later on throughout today too as well, because this may also be there's a little bit of information that kind of leaked out from that one. It's maybe like a roguelike. So first and foremost, this is actually Naughty Dog's most recent brand new game that, although most people are kind of expecting, might be released in 2027, which is kind of crazy to think about. Might even getting close to the PlayStation 6 era. Mainly people are seeing that because it's basically the reverse of some of the date and timestamps on the trailer itself. So first and foremost, some of the bigger kind of gossip and drama, as I kind of also intertwine some of this with the game trailers out here, is that people are actually unironically upset that Astrobot somehow won Game of the Year. Now, spoiler alert in case you guys didn't hear, Astrobot won Game of the Year. It was up against a few other few big heavy hitters like Metaphor for all the weebs out there, anime fans. I'm one of those people myself. And of course, Black Myth Wukong. And also a few other various games out there too as well, like Beltro, which I've gotten yelled at by my Twitch stream for saying it wrong pretty much every single time. Let's go make sure the actual trailer too as well is also not at 1440p as we're going to record this one out. But basically, this game looked pretty cool. A lot of games looked really cool in the upcoming things, but the big thing also, once again, for the Game of the Year awards was the Game of the Year. Astrobot ended up winning, and a lot of people are actually upset about it. The second that game actually was announced as the Game of the Year, people were calling it rigged. People were saying that PlayStation was basically buying out the Game of the Year awards, and not many people really appreciated it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, what I thought was going to win Game of the Year was Black Myth Wukong. But I'm also a bit sad because Helldivers 2 was never up for the running. Now, I'm not necessarily sure exactly how they kind of base and kind of set up what is the determinations of what the Game of the Year is. My mind is always like, what game kind of brought the most change in the gaming sphere? And in my mind, I feel like Helldivers was probably the biggest one. Now, on their list though, I thought Wukong. So I'm gonna kind of give you guys my thoughts why, and why maybe some people might be upset on the Astro side. So first and foremost, I thought Black Myth Wukong, although somewhat basic, very like a Devil May Cry, FromSoft type style boss rush game, which has been pretty common. Like, in all honesty, I think that's the pretty common gaming we've seen a lot throughout these years. It's like either a Dark Souls clone or maybe like a Rust type style clone, like a DayZ Rust type style game, cute like farming game, or maybe like a randomly at this point maybe random mecha game, kind of like an Armored Core, and as well like gacha style games like a Genshin Impact. You kind of basically just have a repeat of those same 5 games, and then the occasional like FPS type style game, whether it's like a Killing Floor, which actually was also announced, Killing Floor 3, and other various things. Like that's kind of like the genre we're kind of stuck in as of right this second. So in my mind, I felt like Black Myth Wukong was kind of a game-defining game, mainly because it brought a lot of action towards the PC side and PS5 side from China. It was one of the most played Steam games of all time, and basically it was a big impactful push when it comes to, well, like I said, bringing a lot of the Chinese market into gaming. And as well, I thought the game itself was overall pretty good. A little bit basic and generic, but very, very good. And that was kind of that would be my vote over there for Game of the Year. Now, obviously, Beltro, which I've said wrong every single time, I also like that vibe because it was an indie game that kind of proved itself. By the way, but this was the brand new Naughty Dog game out there too as well. I'm also going to be putting up some other ones too, such as the Mafia game, which I'm very excited for this. I've always loved these mafioso type style games. Like this to me is probably like I don't know, just one of my more favorite genres of just like life. Like I love this. I love it's like it's slightly different from that same 5 grouping things I've had. So anyway, we have Beltro, which is a fun indie game that probably wasn't going to win, but that was a very unique and cool game, and I do believe it won a lot of indie awards, and I think that was very, very well deserved, in my honest opinion. Metaphor was a good game too as well, also won quite a few different awards, but once again, I don't think people really like that mass appeal for it. And as well, like I genuinely think the game itself, such as Astrobot, was deserving of it. Like it was, I'm not really sure how they kind of base it, like I said, but the game itself was a well-made, well-polished, good game, very good review scores from the critics out there. Like it's at the end of the day, it was just a good game. Like I gotta put some love to it. There's a lot of people in the PlayStation ecosystem, and it was kind of a good homage towards old school gaming, as well as like just the PlayStation ecosystem. And while some people may not necessarily agree with that, like maybe they prefer like a Metaphor, maybe they prefer like more of an indie, maybe they prefer more of a Black Myth Wukong, maybe they even preferred Final Fantasy. But at the end of the day, or even like, you know, Elden Ring DLCs, which I don't really think a DLC should have won. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. My potential hot take is I kind of thought the Elden Ring DLC was very good. Like I enjoyed it, I played many hours of it, but I also thought the base Elden Ring was a better experience. I liked it better myself if I had to compare between the two. Still was a great game, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people were also making fun that it was even a DLC included. But people were upset about it, dude. People were really mad about the actual Astrobot game itself, which was kind of surprising to me because I do think they like deserved it, I would say. Now I'm going to show you up in the background over here too from all this is something the brand new Elden Ring, which is Elden Ring Night and Rain as well, in case you guys are curious in the gameplay. But yeah, from what we've had a chance to go and see, people are not happy about it. People are calling out PlayStation, assuming it was bought out. People are kind of just thinking like platformers aren't that special. The game itself wasn't that good, in their words. And it's kind of a weird one, because in my honest opinion, I think all of those games that were listed kind of deserved it in their own unique ways. And like I said, I don't really know how and why they pick out certain games. My opinion, like I said, Black Myth Wukong drove a lot of brand new people to the PS5s to PC gaming, especially in China. Crazy numbers. That was cultural. I'd probably say Helldivers was also filled with so many memes and brought a lot of people together, and it was a somewhat different experience too as well, like the D&D space battles. Like I thought that was a unique, cool game concept, and I feel like that probably actually would have deserved Game of the Year. If that was on the list, I would have voted for it. Hot take. But at the same time, like I think every game on that list deserved it for their own different ways. Now, maybe they were trying to do more of that like safe, like game reviewer vibe, where as you guys know, they kind of look of like, are the graphics good? Is the gameplay solid? Instead of having like soul or personality. Like some people actually prefer playing the same game 50 different times and they just want to be well and polished. I'm not one of those people. I like unique experiences and different vibes, which is why I probably would have voted for Helldivers. And like I said, like it just depends on what they're looking for. But that's why I think Astrobot was kind of cool. There's not that many platformer games out there that do well, and not that many family-friendly games out there too, which is a big, I think, selling point. And like, it was cool because anyone could have played it. Now, in terms of sales, though, I think Beltro is at like 3.5. I think Black Myth Wukong's over like 20 mil. Even Helldivers, that wasn't even listed, was over, I believe, at 10 million at this point. And Metaphor, I'm not sure exactly how well it's sold, but a lot of these games actually would probably almost put Astrobot as one of the lower-selling games as well. Although it is only a PlayStation-only title with no PC as well. Some of those other games were cross-platform. But at the same time, like people are not happy with it. People thought that people weren't expecting it. I'll be honest with you, even my honest opinions, I did not even consider Astrobot in the running. So maybe I'm just the naysayer over here myself, but that was like a lot of people thought. And I want to know if you guys actually thought so. Like a lot of people enjoyed Astrobot, a lot of people enjoyed the experience. It was just a wholesome, fun game vibe. That was also kind of a big come up story too as well. It was like a tech demo somewhat that got additional funding and then also made his own AAA version of a game. If you really think about it, I think that's pretty dope. I think that's very, very cool, and I'm very proud of the team itself for winning Game of the Year. And I can understand why some people might be bigger fans for other games out there and they maybe prefer those two as well. But in my honest opinion, like that's just what it is. Like we don't know what the classifications are, and I think that's what a lot of people are scared of on the PlayStation side. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I'm just happy that I had a chance to go and actually win the game and I got some recognition out there. And I'll be a little bit honest and a little bit biased. Beltro getting a lot of actual recognition is also kind of special. I have a special spot in my heart for all these indie titles always. And it's just a big, big vibe for me. It's something I'm very, very happy with and very thankful for whenever these games have a chance to get all this additional love out there. Now, once again, there are a few other games to kind of wind down this video because I want to hear your thoughts if you thought Astrobot deserved Game of the Year or not. But I'm going to showcase up some Borderlands 4 gameplay, which at the same exact time too as well. Like these games seem cool. I enjoyed a lot of these games. This actually was, in my opinion, a pretty good game event. I will probably be playing Borderlands 4. I hope it sits a little bit more like Borderlands 2, a little bit less cheesy than 3. Hopefully I learn from the prior mistakes. Made a good grind game. But like I said, Elden Ring looked pretty cool. We also had, once again, The Witcher 4, which looked phenomenal. Although, once again, some people are also upset, too, as well, that, like, Ciri's one of those main characters. And, like, I don't know. I felt like a lot of people are kind of just being a little bit too testy on most of these calls. Now, granted, the gaming sphere right now is in this really weird ecosystem. Completely understand. Some people are like the woke versus the unwoke, and you see games like Concord failing. Then some people are saying like, wait, what is going on with this, or why are these characters ugly, or whatever it might be. I kind of have the baseline opinion is if the game is a good game, I will play. I don't really care what the characters are, the lore wise, whatever. Make it good, I will enjoy it. I don't really have to worry too much about politics or anything else in my game. If it makes sense in the game story, maybe like a Cyberpunk makes sense, sure, I'll work it on in. But at the end of the day, like, I just want to have a good game with good gameplay. Give me good gameplay and I'm happy. That's all I really want at the end of the day. And well, like I said, a lot of these games, even on the indie games and like those mid-tier, like AA type style games, there was some pretty good, decent game announcements over at the Game of the Year Awards. So I'm just trying to showcase up some of the cooler trailers out here from it. But I had a pretty good vibe for it. Now, it wasn't the best thing I've ever seen, and I really wish I could have a few more games, and something like the Hollow Knight Silksong would have been nice. Or, you know, maybe like, you know, there's a few of those kind of, we don't want to speak of them games, you know, Elden, like the next, like, I was gonna say next Elden Ring type style game, but it's not Elden Ring. Next, like, what, this is sorry, the middle of the video itself too. I was gonna go and say the next Elden, I want to say Elden Ring, Elder Scrolls, good God. It's always going to work. It's always called like the next Skyrim, you know what I mean? But anyway, that was announced forever ago. I wish we could have had some of those announced. Obviously, we had Outer Worlds 2, which was announced too as well. Like, I wish there was more. I wish there was some bigger and banging things coming out. But obviously some, or like a, you know, a GTA 6, you know, that type of stuff, sure. But obviously, like, that's kind of not their place or time to go and do that. It makes sense of why. Here's The Witcher 4 in the background, which I'm also very excited for as well. Some games are in development. Some games are working on, like Okami 2 as well. Also kind of had a chance to weasel the way on in, but overall I would say the Game of the Year award show turned out very good. Brand new PlayStation 5 game, as we mentioned, from Naughty Dog, was a nice subtle surprise. Astrobot winning, although with all the controversy out there, with a lot of people calling a lot of these things out there rigged, I got to go and see Snoop Dogg do some crazy weird shimmies, and at the end of the day, I think I had a pretty fun time watching the event. I think it flowed pretty good and I enjoyed it. So let me know what you guys thought if you guys had a chance to see it. What was your favorite game? Or if you guys have only, this is your first impressions of it, of all these, which ones were you the most excited for? If I had to go and say realistically, probably the Elden Ring spin-off games feels pretty dope, and of course The Witcher 4 looked phenomenal. I love The Witcher 3. I put many hours into it, and I'm sure CD Projekt Red is going to do a fantastic time with it. So give me your thoughts and comments on everything down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. I appreciate you guys all so much, very much for watching. Like I said, give me your thoughts and comments on the Game of the Year Awards if you think Astrobot deserved it or someone else did, and let me know in the comment section down below.